Morning peeps. So it appears that I'm on a bit of a roll. Had a beautiful shroom trip yesterday and had a very deep and peaceful meditation last night for about an hour, maybe some more. And then the most real astral projection I've ever had. Absolutely unbelievable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit of a preamble as to how this projection came about for those of you that are interested in the machinations of it all. It's if you listen to people speaking about what you're supposed to do to project, then you will just be in a whole complete minefield. And I've done all that. I've listened to everybody and I've tried everything, and basically none of their methods work for me. My method works for me, and it's different on many occasions, and you can never get a format to it. People say that you've got to go to bed on an empty stomach. They say that you can't eat meat. They say that you've got to get up in the middle of the night and you wait half an hour, and then they say you've got to lie on your back and you can't move, and many things. And so I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours practice into this astral projection business, and so I pretty well know the format. And if you ask me, how do you do it, Aaron? I'm going to say, I haven't got a fucking clue. When it's ready, it comes. And so after my shroom trip yesterday, early evening, a mate of mine calls me and says, like, do you want to go out for that curry you keep talking about? So I said yeah. So I went out, had a huge curry, vegetable curry obviously, vegetarian, and completely bloated, and I had a large glass of red wine. And I'm a pretty well non-drinker. I have 1 pint of beer a week, and so I was really pretty tired by about 8 p.m. So I thought, I'm going to turn in for the day. And so I went to bed, and I was meditating for about an hour. And I had the most deepest and beautiful, completely relaxed meditation in a long time, whereby I was just gently, so gently, thoughts now and again coming in and out to, if I didn't want to contemplate anything, I didn't have to. I was just there, just enjoying the self, the awareness, body just completely gone, barely breathing. I had to concentrate a little bit to see if I was even breathing, just so shallow. And I thought to myself, how can the body continue to live with... Seems like you're taking in 2 teaspoons of air with each breath. Incredibly low, deep and profound meditation. And I thought, well, I'll try and astral project. And so I didn't even get a single vibration. Nothing. No buzzing, no tingling, nothing unusual. In actual fact, I didn't even get hypnagogia. Now that's bizarre. To be in that theta realm and not have hypnagogia, I thought, that's weird. It was just pure black. And so it was really nice, in as much that there wasn't all this, images going on. There's just the self in the abyss. And that is an amazing place to be, people. So that was absolutely wonderful. So after about an hour and a half, I thought, well, it seems evident that this isn't going anywhere as far as the projection's concerned. So I thought, okay, time for sleep. So I rolled over onto my left, when most nights I'll start to sleep on my right. So I was on my left, and then I was dropping in and out of sleep, and then I was aware that I was feeling unusual sensations, and so I become alert and I concentrate on what's happening to the body. And then it's like, oh, here we go. You've got vibrations going on. You've got rushes going on. And so I'm just lying there, and again I'm so relaxed, I can't feel my body, my mind is alert. And then I start to get the noises. And when you get the noises, it's absolutely beautiful. And what I will say before this is, this was my intention. Before I fell asleep, I want the noises, I want the vibration. I said to myself, come on, you know, it's been about 5 months since I've had the last projection. It's time now. Isn't that curious? And then you get it. And so vibrations came on, and then the noises, boo, boo. And it's like, you know, these noises in your head, and it's just like, it's so expansive, and they're just incredible, and I love them. And then all of a sudden it's like, and then you get the point where you just start to raise up out of your body. At that time, that's where you get the entities. And so all of a sudden I heard 2 girls, 2 young women, and they were saying, okay, let's pick him up. Alright, you get his legs. And I felt arms under my body, and I was still pretty well in the fetal position laying on my left. And so they brought me up like this, and they both got hold of me, and then they said, put him down here. And so I'm like, okay, so it goes down on the floor. And then one mentioned that, oh, it's quite hairy. And I thought, well, or he's quite hairy. And I thought, well, you know, I keep myself quite trim, but, you know, I have got hairs on my legs and in my thighs and that, you know, fair hair. And so I'm thinking, oh, okay. And so I've still got my eyes closed at this time, because I don't like to open them in the initial, because I want to make sure I'm fully in it. And then what happened is that I got a pair of buttocks placed on my face. And so, I don't know how graphic I can be about this, but a pair of buttocks on my face, naked, and on my mouth. And I'm like, this is real. And I thought, I'm going to open my eyes. I opened my eyes. People, I'm telling you, exactly as real life. And so that lasted for several minutes, and I then got into a position whereby the one got off me, and I noticed that there were 2 girls about mid-20s, early, now about going up to 30 years old, between 25 and 30, and one had long crinkly blonde hair, and the other one had black hair, and it was short. And they was just like, you know, chatting with each other, you know, putting round here, do this and do that, like it wasn't me. It's like, you know, like these succubus things, they come and get you, and they use you for sex. It's not like talking to me. They weren't, hey, Aaron, you know, how do you like a bit of a party? No, it's pick him up, put him down here, do this, do that. And then the blonde one, okay, so she was on my face, and then the brunette one wanted her turn, and so she gets me like this and pulls me down. And I'm looking, and I'm going, this is fucking real, this is real. this girl was shaved, and I saw a couple of spots on the top part, and then she's got hold of my head, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at her breasts, and like reasonably small breasts, and I thought, fuck it, I'll feel those breasts, and I feel these breasts, and I thought, I'm here, and now, this is fucking happening, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. And so she says to me, she says, grab my arse, grab my arse. She turns over onto the side like this, and she says, see how soft my arse is. And like, I held the cheek like this, and I noticed that the cheek had got a bit of dry skin on it. And I thought, you know, this is so graphic. And she said, it's soft, isn't it? And I said, yeah, it's beautiful and soft. Beautiful little round, slightly tanned ass. And so doing that, and then the next scene comes about whereby we are in a house, and the house is like, it's kind of like it's an Italian house. Without all that sort of stuff, you know, Italian ornaments and, you know, bright pottery and big pine tables and chairs, and there was a guy sitting down at one end of the table, a short-haired, brown-haired guy, about 25 again, and he was just looking, you know, indifferent about me, and these girls were giving me fellatio, and started off with the blonde one, and then it went to the brunette one, and whilst the brunette one is doing her thing, I'm like, holy, I'm gonna blow, this is proper. And I thought, get a grip, look around, absorb this information, take some of this information back. I saw two clocks. Two big clocks, one on the wall and one on a shelf. One on the wall, it says like 20 past 10. The one on the shelf, it says just gone 8. And I'm like, what does that mean? It's neither of those times. It's telling me that there's no time here. And what actually happened is, because I was looking to try to grasp the reality of it, to take the information back, then the whole scene started to fade away, and they became indifferent with me. And the girl giving me fellatio, all of a sudden, you know, she stops like this, and she just looks at me, you know, as if like, no, now you've done it. And I just looked at her, and I go, and I held her hair like this, and I got my fingers and I put it in her mouth like that to feel. And I thought, it feels exactly like a mouth. And then what happened is, right, a face started to split. And I'm like, I pushed my hand down her throat, and her whole mouth tore apart, and her face all fell down, kind of like a very firm blancmange. And the eye socket fell out, and the mouth fell out, with my hand down the throat like that. I'm like, holy fucking shit. I looked over at the guy, and he's just kind of like giving me the impression that, you know, you fucked it up now. And I'm like, oh no. And so finally the scene was, there was a box on the table, cardboard box, and it had loads of stuff in it. And I thought, get this information. I got this box, I tipped it upside down on the table, I poured it all out, and I thought, look at the stuff. What is there? What can you see? And what I saw, amongst other things, kind of like old-fashioned powder puffs, like the ladies used to have, and sometimes they'd have some sort of depiction of the countryside on the top of them. And then I noticed some sort of like a pendant. It was a square pendant, and it had Jack from the Pirates of the Caribbean on it. And I picked it up and I went, Pirates of the Caribbean. And then all of a sudden, it's just started, you get that feeling, and like, boom, I'm back in bed, and I'm like, I'm awake. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Holy shit. That was the most real, incredible, lifelike that I've ever had. And any of you that know my videos, you know that I get these encounters with these women all the time that come to me for sex. Am I creating that? If I was creating it, you'd think I'd have more control. But they come to me, they do to me what they want to do. And I'm a toy. They're just manipulating me around. Putting down here. Do this to him, do that to him. Just talking amongst themselves like there isn't a human body there. So it doesn't matter. It's just a spirit. Let's abuse this spirit. Let's use this spirit. Let's just have fun. Let's, you know, oh man. It's like these things, they're all around the astral, and they're sexual predators. But as far as the succubus thing goes, where people go, oh, the succubus, stay away from them. They don't drain my energy. I don't feel any adverse effects whatsoever. I have a good time. And it's absolutely amazing. And so they can come every single night as far as I'm concerned. Wow, man, I'm telling you. Now, I don't know whether it's anything to do with the shroom thing. I guess it is, because I was so relaxed and I went to bed early. And so, go to bed early, get a bit of sleep, and then you're not too tired. You don't fall to sleep then. You can lie there. Just in this hypnosis whilst you're waiting for the vibrations to come on. So people, there you have it. I probably could go on more and more and more, but the thing is about this is you lose it. You're not supposed to bring it back. It's like DMT, you're not supposed to bring that back. When you go into these realms, that information is kind of like what you see here, what you hear here. When you leave here, let it stay here. And then you defy all of the rules when you are in a projection and you're concentrating on the detail. You're not supposed to concentrate on the detail. You're just supposed to be with it. And when you come out of it, you're like desperate, trying to remember every single detail. But even though when you're thinking, you just feel them slipping away, slipping away, slipping away. And so last night I thought, I want to get out of bed and I want to make the video. But then I thought, well, no, because you hear from certain people, they say that you can come back from an astral, but because you're still in that state, you're almost at that vibration, you can lie there for a few more minutes and you can go back again. So I tried that. I tried that for about 20 minutes and it didn't happen. I thought, I've remembered the most details of it to be able to convey it to you. And so there you have it, people. Make of it what you will.